Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening sa mga batang math tatalino at math tsitsaga. Welcome to our mathematics lesson. This is your teacher, Jocelyn, your math teacher for today. Hello everyone, hope everyone's doing great. Okay, halina at math challenge sa araw na ito. Mga bata, ito ang mga kailangan ninyong bitbitin. Habang nanonood kayo ng video ito, number 1, maghanda ng papel at matulis na lapis. Number 2, magtalas na mata, tainga at isip. Number 3, matapos ang video upang matuto. Okay, before we start our lesson for today, we will recall our previous topic. So, ano nga ba yung previous topic natin? It was multiplying fractions or multiplication of fractions. Okay, but before we proceed sa pagre-recall ng multiplication of fractions, we are going to talk about fractions and types first. Okay, para ma-recall din tayo. Okay, let's read. If a fraction is written in the form of a over b, then a and b are the parts of the fraction, where a is called a numerator and b is called the denominator. For example, suppose 2/5 is a fraction. Okay, 2/5 is a number written in a fraction form. Okay, then 2 is the numerator and 5 is the denominator. Ibig sabihin, yung top number is the numerator and the bottom number is the denominator. Now, let's look at the types of the fractions. What are the types of the fractions? Sabi dito, there are 3 main types of fractions, which are proper fractions, improper fractions, and mixed fractions. Below is a brief explanation on each of the types. So, proper fractions, when the numerator of a fraction is less than the denominator. Example, 1/2, 3/5, 7/9. Makikita natin sa example na mas mababa yung numerators nila compare sa denominator. And that is called proper fractions. Next, improper fractions. When the numerator is greater than the denominator. Example, 3/2, 5/4, 8/3. Mas mataas naman yung numerator sa denominator, kaya tinawag siyang improper fractions. And the last one is the mixed fraction. Ito naman is a combination of a whole number and a fraction. It is also called a mixed number. Let's see the example. 3 1/4, 4 1/5, 2 1/2. So, tinawag siyang mixed fraction kasi meron siyang whole number at the same time, meron din siyang fraction. Multiplying fractions. Recall lang po ito There are 3 simple steps to multiply fractions. Number 1, multiply the top numbers or the numerators. Number 2, multiply the bottom numbers or the denominators. And number 3, simplify the fraction if needed. Example, multiply 1/2 by 2/5. Step 1, multiply the top numbers. The top numbers are 1 and 2, so 1 times 2 is equals to 2. Step 2, multiply the bottom numbers, which are 2 and 5. So 2 times 5 is equals to 10. The answer is 2/10. Step number 3, simplify the fraction. So the answer is 2/10. I-divide natin siya sa 2/2. It's going to be 2 divided by 2 is equals to 1. 10 divided by 2 is equals to 5. So the answer in simplified form is 1/5 or 1/5. Question, how to simplify fractions? Okay. To simplify a fraction, divide the top and bottom by the highest number that can divide into both numbers exactly, or simply look for the greatest common factor. Let's see the example. Simplify the fraction 8/12. So the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. The factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Let's see this picture. Okay, the largest number that goes exactly into both 8 and 12 is 4. So the greatest common factor is 4. Now divide both top and bottom by 4. 8/12 divided by 4/12 4 over 4 is equals to 2/3. Okay, the fraction is simplified to 2 over 3 or 2/3. That's how you simplify fractions. Next, we will proceed to multiplying proper fractions. The same step. Number 1, multiply the top numbers or the numerator. Number 2, multiply the bottom numbers or the denominators. And number 3, simplify the fraction if needed. Let's take the example. Multiply 5 over 9 by 2 over 3. So 5 over 9 times 2/3 is equals to, so 5 times 2 muna, lahat ng numerators muna yung kukunin natin. So numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. That's gonna be 5 times 2 is equals to 10. That's the numerator, and 9 times 3 is equals to 27. Yun naman yung denominator natin. So it is already simplified form kasi kung makikita natin, wala naman ang greatest common factor yung dalawang number. So that's going to be the final answer, 10 over 27. Next, multiplying improper fractions. Number 1, multiply the top numbers or the numerators. Number 2, multiply the bottom numbers or the denominators. Number 3, simplify the fraction if needed. Let's see the example. Multiplying two improper fractions such as 9 over 2 and 6 over 5 results in, so yung numerator to numerator again, okay? So 9 times 6 is equals to 54. 2 times 5 is equals to 10. So pag sinimplify natin siya, we have to look for the greatest common factor, and the greatest common factor is 2. So 54 divided by 2 is equals to 27, and 10 divided by 2 is equals to 5. So therefore, ang answer ay 27 over 5. Next, multiplying mixed fractions. Number 1, convert mixed fraction to improper fractions. Number 2, multiply the top numbers or the numerators. Number 3, multiply the bottom numbers or the denominators. And number 4, convert to a mixed fraction, only because the original fraction was in that form. Let's see the example. 1 1/2 times 2 and 1/5. Okay, ang gagawin natin, i-convert natin yung mixed fraction into improper fraction. Paano? We have to multiply the denominator to the whole number, which is 2 and 1. So 2 times 1 is equals to 2. And let's add the numerator, which is 1 plus 1. It's going to 3, and we are going to retain the denominator, which is 2. So kapag kinonvert natin yung 1 1/2 sa improper fraction, magiging 3 over 2 siya. And then the second fraction, which is 2 and 1/5, 5 times 2 is equals to 10 plus 1 is equals to 11 over 5. Retain natin yung ating denominator. That is going to be 11 over 5. Now, we will proceed to the multiplication of fraction. That's going to be 3 times 11. That's 33. And 2 times 5 over 10. So, in simplified form, sabi rito, we have to convert to a mixed fraction kasi yun yung original form niya. So, we are going to convert 33 over 10 to mixed fraction. It's going to be 3 and 3/10. Alright? And multiplying fractions with whole numbers. Number 1, make the whole number a fraction by putting it over 1. Number 2, multiply the top numbers or the numerators. Number 3, multiply the bottom numbers or the denominators. And number 4, simplify the fraction if needed. Let's see the example. 3 times 2 over 9 is equals to n. So sabi doon sa step number 1, make the whole number a fraction by putting it over 1. Ibig sabihin, lalagyan natin siya ng denominator na 1. So magiging 3 over 1 yung whole number na 3. And then proceed tayo sa multiplication. 3 over 1 times 2 over 9 is equals to 3 times 2 is equals to 6, and 1 times 9 is equals to 9. Now we have to simplify the fraction kasi kailangan siya i-simplify. So we are going to divide it into 3. That's the greatest common factor. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So in simplified form, the answer is 2 over 3. At Okay, balikan naman natin ulit yung solving routine and non-routine problems involving multiplication of fractions kasi tinakal na rin natin to last time, okay? So sabi dito, routine problem solving involves using at least one of the four arithmetic operations to solve problems that are practical in nature. And non-routine problem solving is any complex problem that requires some degree of creativity or originality to solve. Non-routine problems typically do not have an immediately apparent strategy for solving them. It can be solved in multiple ways. So ano-ano nga ba yung steps in solving word problems? Number 1, understand. Number 2, plan. Number 3, solve. And number 4, check. Okay, so kids, let's have a warm up, okay? Tapos na tayong mag-recall. You have to get your pen and paper now and you have to answer the following. Okay, number 1, 60 divided by 4. Number 2, 150 divided by 5. Number 3, 24 divided by 6. Number 4, 15 divided by 5. Number 5, 30 divided by 10. And the next one, write the numerator and the denominator of the following. So, meron tayong 5 cakes dito. So, you have to write the numerator and the denominator of each. Okay? Okay, now let's proceed in checking your quick test. Okay, number 1. Yung answer sa number 1 natin is 15. 60 divided by 4 is equals to 15. Answer naman sa number 2, 150 divided by 5 is equals to 30. Number 3, 24 divided by 6 is equals to 4. Number 4, 15 divided by 5 is equals to 3. And number 5, 30 divided by 10 is equals to 3. Okay, i-check nyo lang yung mga papers ninyo kung nakuha nyo yung mga tamang sagot. Okay? The next one is, yung number 1 na pie natin is 1/6. Bakit? Kasi isa lang yung shaded part. No, yun lang yung na-consume. So, ibig sabihin, bibilangin natin kung ilang part meron yung isang pie. It's going to be 1/6 kasi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts siya and isa lang yung na-consume. So, 1/6. If your answer is 1/6, then that is correct. Check your paper. Check your answer. Number 2 naman na answer is 5/6. Bakit? Kasi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yung shaded part and 6 parts meron yung isang whole. Number 3 naman, the answer is 2/3. And then number 4, ang answer naman niya ay 6/9. And number 5, ang answer ay 4/6. Okay. Okay, good job if you got perfect score. Congratulations. And now we are going to reveal our main lesson for today, which is dividing fractions. Okay? Let's read the objectives. At the end of the lesson, the learners are expected to demonstrate understanding of division operations involving fractions. Number 2, apply division operations involving fractions in mathematical problems and real-life situations. Number 3, divide simple fractions, improper fractions, and mixed fractions. Number 4, solve routine or non-routine problems involving division without or with any of the other operations of fractions, and mixed fractions using appropriate problem-solving strategies and rules. Alright. So, sabi dito, the division of fractions can be classified into 3 different ways. Ano kaya yung ways na yun? Number 1, dividing fractions by a fraction. Next, dividing fraction by whole number. And lastly, dividing fractions by mixed fraction. Okay, sabi dito, dividing fraction by a fraction. Uunahin natin. Step number 1, step by step tayo. Number 1, turn the second fraction or the divisor upside down. Or simply get the reciprocal. Number 2, multiply the first fraction by that reciprocal. And number 3, simplify the fraction if needed. But first, we have to know how to get the reciprocal of the fraction. So to get the reciprocal of a fraction, just turn it upside down or swap over the numerator and denominator. For example, 1/2. Sabi rito, isuswap lang natin yung positions ng dalawa. kung yung numerator ay 1, magiging denominator siya, yung denominator magiging numerator siya. So, ang reciprocal ng 1/2 is 2/1. Okay, let's try this example. 2/3 divided by 3/4 is equals to n. Solution, we have to convert 3/4 into its reciprocal to get 4/3. Now, from division, we will proceed to multiplication. So, ito yung ating solution. 2/3 times 4/3 is equals to n. 2 times 4, numerator to numerator tayo. 2 times 4 is equals to 9, and 3 times 3 is equals to 9. So, the final answer is 8/9. That's our quotient. Okay? Next, dividing fraction by a whole number. Step number 1, the whole number is converted into fraction by applying the denominator value as 1. Step 2, take the reciprocal of the number. Step 3, now multiply the fractional value by a given fraction. Step 4, simplify the given expression. Example, divide 6/5 by 10. Sabi, we have to convert 10 into a fraction. That's going to be the step number 1. It will be 10/1. Step number 2, get the reciprocal. So 10/1, reciprocal niyan ay 1/10. Step 3, multiply 6/5 and 1/10. It's going to be 6 times 1 is equals to 6. 5 times 10 is equals to 50. Now, let's simplify. So, the greatest common factor that we can see is 2. So, 6 divided by 2 is equals to 3, and 50 divided by 2 is equals to 25. So, the final answer is 3/25. Next, dividing fractions by a mixed fraction. Step 1, convert the mixed fraction into the improper fraction. Step 2, take the reciprocal for the improper fraction. Step 3, multiply the obtained fraction by a given fraction. And number 4, simplify the fractions. Okay, let's see the example here. Divide 2/5 by 3 and 1/2. Okay, step 1, sabi i-convert muna natin yung mixed fraction into an improper fraction. We get 7/2. Paano? We have to multiply the denominator to the whole number, which is 2 times 3, that's 6. And we have to add 1 to the numerator, that's 7. And we have to retain the denominator, which is 2. So 7/2. Step number 2, take reciprocal for improper fraction. The reciprocal ng 7/2 is 2/7. And then, proceed tayo sa multiplication. 2/5 times 2/7, it's going to be 2 times 2 is equals to 4. 5 times 7 is equals to 35. So, the final answer in simplified form is 4/35. Hindi na natin siya kailangan pang kuhanan ng or i-simplify pa kasi simplified na yung answer niya. Alright, let's proceed to solving routine and non-routine problems involving division of fractions. Let's read. Routine problem solving. It involves using at least one of the 4 arithmetic operations to solve problems that are practical in nature. Next naman, non-routine problem solving is any complex problem that requires some degree of creativity or originality to solve. Non-routine problems typically do not have an immediately apparent strategy for solving them. It can be solved in multiple ways. In short, yung mga non-routine problem solving are the word problems na may mga hidden questions, no? You have to analyze the word problem for you to get the right plan, no, in solving the problem. Wherein yung routine problem solving, alam mo na kaagad kung ano yung operation na gagamitin mo doon. Maybe because of the words na ginagamit nila doon sa word problem, kaya mo malalaman yung right operations. No? Pero pag non-routine problem solving, kailangan mo ng critical thinking, kailangan mong i-analyze ng mabuti yung question para malaman mo kung anong plan or anong operation yung gagamitin mo sa problem na yon. Okay, let's proceed. Steps in solving word problem. Number 1, understand. Number 2, plan. Number 3, solve. Number 4, check. Kung paano natin ginawa sa multiplying fractions, ganun din natin gagawin sa dividing fractions or division of fractions. Alright, let's take this example number 1. There are 5 liters of milkshakes. Each girl can consume 1/5 liter of milkshakes per serving. For how many girls Marielle is preparing milkshakes? Remember, number 1, understand. Number 2, plan. Number 3, solve. And number 4, check. Okay, let's proceed. Number 1, understand. So what is asked? Sabi doon, for how many girls Marielle is preparing milkshakes? That's the question asked. Next, letter B, what are the given facts? Dito may nakalagay na 5 liters of milkshake at saka 1/5 liter of milkshakes per serving na nakukonsume ng bawat girl. Okay? Our plan is division. And what is the number sentence? 5 divided by 1/5 is equals to n. Next natin gagawin is to solve. Ano nga ba yung step-by-step procedure natin pag nag-divide tayo ng fraction? First, we have to get the reciprocal of the second fraction. So if the number sentence is 5 divided by 1/5 is equals to n, magiging yung 5, since it's whole number, gagawin natin siyang fraction, magiging 5/1 siya. And yung second fraction natin, which is 1/5, kukunin naman natin yung reciprocal niya, which is 5/1. And then, next na procedure is mag-proceed tayo sa multiplying fractions or multiplication of fractions. That's going to be 5/1 times 5/1 is equals to 5 times 5 is equals to 25. 1 times 1 is equals to 1. Or, in simplified form, the answer is 25. Okay, since the problem is worded, kailangan yung answer mo sentence form din. So, the answer would be, Marielle is preparing milkshakes for 25 girls. Okay, how to check? We have to multiply the answer to 1/5. No? Kailangan natin i-check kung tama ba yung ginawa nating solution. So, to check, we have to multiply the answer to 1/5. Let's say, 25 times 1/5 is equals to 25/1 times 1/5 is equals to 25 times 25, that's 25 times 1 is equals to 25. 1 times 5 is equals to 5. So, pag kinuha natin yung simplified form niya, 25, di-divide natin yan sa 5. 25/5, i-divide natin yan sa 5/5. So, 25 divided by 5 is equals to 5. 5 divided by 5 is equals to 1. So, magiging 5/1 siya, or in simplified form, it's going to be 5. So, doon natin malalaman kung tama nga ba yung solution na ginawa natin. Alright? Let's proceed to the second example. Okay, in a school raffle, Lois and Lane won a circular-shaped chocolate cake. So, their teacher divided the cake equally between them. Lois went home with half of the whole cake. When her brother and sister arrived, she decided to divide the cake equally among the 3 of them. Lois asked herself, what part of the cake will each of us receive? Okay, remember, number 1, understand. Number 2, plan. Number 3, solve. And number 4, check. Okay, let's see this illustration. So, sabi kanina, circular-shaped chocolate cake, no? Pero yung nakuha ni teacher na illustration is a square-shaped cake. So, sorry for that, pero just imagine na circle yan, okay? So, yung upper picture is the whole cake, okay? Yung lower picture naman, half of the cake na nakuha nilang dalawa. Okay? Tag 1/2 sila ng cake. Alright? That is the illustration. Okay? Ngayon, gustong hatiin ni Lois yung kalahati na meron siya. So, nakuha niyang cake is half of the whole. Okay? Ngayon, dumating yung brother and sister niya. Gusto niyang hatian yung brother and sister niya. So, ibig sabihin yung 1/2, hahatiin niya sa tatlo. So, that's the problem. Let's understand. What is asked? What part of the cake will each of us receive? Letter B, what are the given facts? Siyempre yung 1 cake or the whole cake. Next is 1/2 of the cake for each of them. And the 3 siblings. Tatlo kasi sila Lois. So, si Lois, yung brother niya, and ang sister niya. So, the plan is subtraction and division of fractions. Okay, what is the number sentence? 1 minus 1/2 divided by 3 is equals to n. Okay? Now, let's solve. 1 minus 1/2 divided by 3 is equals to n. So, alam naman natin na pag yung 1, minus mo yung 1/2 doon, ang answer nun is 1/2, right? So, 1/2 divided by 3 is equals to 1/2 times 1/3. Bakit naging 1/3? Kinuha natin yung reciprocal ng ating second fraction, which is 3. Kasi pag ginawa natin siyang fraction, nagiging 3/1 siya. So, 3/1 reciprocal is 1/3. Now, let's proceed to multiplication of fraction. That's gonna be 1 times 1 is equals to 1 and 2 times 3 is equals to 6. So, the answer is 1/6. So, sabi nga, kapag word problem, kailangan yung answer mo in sentence form. So, the answer should be each of them will receive 1/6 of the cake. So, paano natin ma-check kung tama nga ba yung ginawa nating procedure? We have to multiply the answer to 3. Kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina sa previous example. So, 1/6 times 3. So, since whole number yung 3, lalagyan natin siya ng over 1 para maging fraction siya. Okay? So, 1 times 3 is equals to 3. 6 times 1 is equals to 6. Now, we have to simplify the answer. 3 divided by 3, kunin natin yung greatest common factor niya. So, greatest common factor niya would be 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So, the final answer is 1/2, meaning tama yung ginawa nating solusyon. Alright, so now we are going to proceed to our activity. So it's activity time. You have to get your pen and paper to answer this simple fraction. So division of simple fractions. Okay? I will read. Number 1, 5/9 divided by 3/5. Number 2, 2/7 divided by 4/7. Number 3, 1/5 divided by 7/9. Number 4, 6/8 divided by 3/6. Number 5, 4/5 divided by 1/6. Actually, number 6 to, nagkamali sa teacher. So, number 6, 3/7 divided by 4/6. Number 7, 2/3 divided by 6/8. Number 8, 7/8 divided by 4/9. Number 9, 5/7 divided by 2/9. And number 10, 3/9 divided by 2/4. Okay, I will give you 20 minutes to finish this activity. Alright, so mag-proceed tayo sa next activity natin. So, let's solve the given word problem. Okay? So, number 1, babasahin ko ha. You have 2/4 of a pizza and you want to share it equally between 2 people. How much of the pizza does each person get? Number 2, a baker is making cakes for a big party. She uses 1/4 cup of oil for each cake. How many cakes can she make if she has a bottle of oil that has 6 cups in it? Okay? You have to answer this naman in 20 minutes then. Alright, good job kids. Very good class. Okay, let's summarize kung ano yung ating napag-usapan ngayong araw na to. Okay, in this lesson, we learn division of fractions. So, kung paano mag-divide ng fraction to another fraction or proper fraction, division of fractions to a mixed fraction, and division of fractions with a whole number. Okay, number 2 naman, solving routine and non-routine word problems. So, we have step-by-step procedures on how to solve word problems. Ano-ano yon? Number 1, understand. Number 2, plan. Number 3, solve. And number 4, check. Okay? So, those are the things that we tackle for today. Okay, so, kung ready na kayo, get another set of your pen and paper to answer naman this quiz. I will read for you, okay? May 5 kayong word problems na isa-solve, okay? Number 1. If it takes 6 yards of fabric to make a dress, then how many yards will it take to make 8 dresses? Number 2. Renee had a box of cupcakes of which she gave 1/2 to her friend Juan. Juan gave 3/4 of his share to his friend Elena. What fractional part of the original box of cupcakes did Elena get? Number 3. Nina's math classroom is 6 4/5 meters long and 1 3/8 meters wide. What is the area of the classroom? Number 4. A chocolate bar is 3/4 of an inch long. If it is divided into pieces that are 3/8 of an inch long, then how many pieces is that? Number 5. An electrician has a piece of wire that is 4 3/8 centimeters long. She divides the wire into pieces that are 1 2/3 centimeters long. How many pieces does she have? Okay, you have 25 minutes to answer this quiz. Relax lang kayo ha, kaya nyo yan. Alright, very good class. Good job. So, ibig sabihin naintindihan nyo talaga yung ating lesson for today. So, for your assignment, ito naman yung gagawin ninyo sa bahay. Huwag kayong mag-alala, 2 lang to. Okay? I will read for you. Answer the following. Use your notebook. I-check natin to next meeting. Okay? Number 1. A warehouse has 1 3/10 meters of tape. If they divide the tape onto pieces that are 5/8 meters long, then how many pieces will they have? Number 2. Jesse has a piece of wood measuring 1 2/4 meter. He needs to cut it into pieces measuring 3/4 meters long. How many pieces of wood did Jesse cut? Ay, sorry, 5 pala. Number 3. Pablo, a chef, uses 1/3 of a teaspoon of oregano to flavor each plate of penne pasta he makes. How many teaspoons of oregano does he use to make 20 such plates of pasta? Number 4. If Elsa plays the piano for 3/4 of an hour a day, how many hours of piano practice will she gain in 10 days? And last but not the least, Diana's pet fish eat 7/5 packs of food each month. How many packs do they eat 12 months? Okay, kung kayo ay nakapagsulat na ng inyong assignments, okay, it's time to say goodbye. Okay? Thank you so much for listening, kids. Thank you so much. See you again next time. Bye!